Hi and welcome. So today I want to share with you how reconnecting to yourself can help you move through and resolve your emotional eating. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and emotional eating expert. And today I wanted to share with you, how we have really disconnected from ourselves and how that leads to emotional eating. So I want to give you this little quick story. Recently, it was my son's birthday, and he, whenever there's cake and treats, sometimes we see kids go crazy. They eat everything on the table. My son has always eaten a slice of cake and he'll stop. He looks forward to it. And of course, if I'm making the cake, I try to make it with, whole ingredients and all of that, but it doesn't matter the type of cake. He will have a small piece and then he'll sort of leave it and he's satisfied. And he knows his limits. He knows when he's hungry. He knows when he's full. He won't just, kind of blindly eat a whole bowl of chips or anything that's in front of him. And he is really connected to his body. He also is really connected to his emotions, and we're very aware and helping him resolve his emotions. And so he never uses food to distract or stuff himself. And the reason I'm telling you this is that I spent the majority of my life trying to figure out my own emotional eating. So I didn't know when I was hungry. I didn't know when I was satisfied. I would eat all the cake. I would just not be able to move through and process my emotions. And it took me a really long time to figure this out. And all of the things that I learned, I instill them in my son. And not even that I instill them, I honor his body and his rhythms. And I know how important these elements are to really be connected to your body, to have this healthy relationship to your body, to your emotions, and how to not feel like food is this thing that soothes you or takes care of you. And so that was really important to me because of my own struggle with emotional eating. And to see my son at such a young age, so he just turned 7, being able to just effortlessly move through life with that, I know I'm setting him up for a much better future than I had, at least in this area. And so, what I find with a lot of my clients and emotional eaters, they went through something really similar to what I did. They really didn't know how to connect into their body. They don't know when they're truly hungry. They use food to soothe themselves when they have uncomfortable emotions. They don't know how to move through and process their emotions. They kind of go through these robotic diets and these magic pills and all of these things externally to help them solve this problem, because from a very young age they were told something is wrong with them, something is wrong with their body, and that gets really ingrained. And then we see probably our parents or caregivers using food to soothe themselves or not being able to move through their emotions, so then we learn to do that ourselves. And as emotional eaters, we realize food helps us soothe ourselves. But if you're watching this video, you're at a point where you no longer want that to be your story. You want to move beyond this. You don't want to feel so disconnected to your food and your body. You don't want to feel so out of control. You don't want to have those obsessive thoughts following you around day in and day out in this low-level anxiety. And then, going to food to soothe yourself. You're really at a point where you are really deeply craving connection with yourself, with your food, with your body, with others. And so I want to share with you that, as I was going through my own emotional journey, there were really 3 main areas that I saw that I was really disconnected in. And they were with my food, with my body, and my emotions. And so when I was developing and creating my program, the Emotional Eating Evolution program, and all the programs that I create, I currently have a 1-to-1 high-level coaching container called the Evolution, and that's just a deeper dive. But these 3 areas remain the same. This is, the areas we really need to look at as emotional eaters. And so as we work through these areas, we start becoming more and more connected to ourselves. And like I said, we're doing it in the areas of food and body and emotions. And it's really synergistic how they all connect in. They help us, sometimes when we're going through things and we see three separate things, it's all interconnected as we move through the work. And this sort of alchemy starts happening under the surface of integrating this work. So I'm going to share with you how these areas are impacting you as an emotional eater, and how, as we reconnect back to them, we start, moving away from this obsessive sort of dependency on food. And so in the area of, let's say, food, which I go deeper into as true nourishment and strategic digestion, this is important to reconnect back to food in that we need to relearn a new way to be with our food. A lot of the conventional things that we hear about nutrition and food, they don't necessarily work for our own individual body. We need to look through this with a different lens. And so true nourishment and strategic digestion, we are really looking at feeling satisfied with our meals, really optimizing our meals, optimizing digestion. So we're deeply getting those nutrients and into our body and into our cells. We're learning when we're actually physically hungry versus emotionally hungry, and how to sort of recognize that. And when we optimize our digestion, this is another layer to emotional eating. We're connecting back to our physical body with our food and learning the difference between when we're physically hungry and emotionally hungry. So we get that discernment between sort of an emotional urge. This is going to connect us more physically with our body as we're nourishing our body. And a lot of the times when my clients do this step, they start feeling good in their body. They're no longer binging out of restriction. They just feel good. And that's internal motivation to move forward, because we want our bodies to feel good. That's all the motivation we need to keep going on a certain path. In the second area with body, we sort of move a little bit beyond food, but we're looking at, we've put so much emphasis on the worth of who we are by the way our body looks. We're diving deeper into what is our true worth and really accepting the body we have, so that can help us get clearer on the transformation that we want. We're also looking at how our body shifts in terms of energy, in terms of, physical needs, in terms of how we work throughout the month, and what our body really needs to get that deep replenishment, so that we're honoring our body and accepting its needs, and we're connecting deeper and deeper into the body. And this reduces, this helps with our mood. It reduces emotional eating and cravings. And that level of acceptance removes that mind criticism and chatter and that sort of forceful bulldozing. In the emotional area, so sort of emotional wellness, this is going to connect us. This connects us. We tend to think of emotions as being out there, but emotions are actually created in our body. We create sensations. They live in our body if we don't process them. So when we really work with the emotions, emotions are really under our emotional eating pattern. And so we start connecting into what those emotions really were trying to tell us, their information, how to move through them so that we get the information and they're no longer controlling us and driving us to emotionally eat. And we get to connect in with our body more, because when our body stores those emotions, they can create pain, they can create stress and tension, and we're not feeling at ease in our body. We're not feeling that connection. And emotions take up sort of physical space in our body, but they really cloud the way we're thinking and reacting. So when we process and move through them, we actually connect deeper to who we are. We're no longer living our lives in reaction. And so all of these elements, they are the different layers needed to really resolve and move through your emotional eating. And they're connecting you back to yourself. The more solid you are in yourself, the less you're going to use food to make you feel better. You're going to really know what you need, and you're going to be able to meet those deeper needs. And so this is so important. As we move through the emotional eating journey, we're needing to connect deeper to ourselves. And that in part is the evolution. When we connect to ourselves, we actually see what we really want moving forward. So we move forward and, we have that life that we want, that we feel our emotional eating might be holding us back from, connecting with others, from socializing, from being that role model for our children, from going after our dreams, from showing up fully. Because a lot of the times emotional eating, this pattern, it makes us feel a lot of shame. It makes us feel out of control. We're constantly obsessing. When we free ourselves of that, there's so much more space to go forward and show up how we want to and be how we want to be in our lives. So if what I'm saying is resonating with you and you're ready to dive deeper, you really want to move through this pattern because you see how it's limiting you in your life, then I would love to invite you to check out the Emotional Eating Evolution program. I'll leave a link below. I also have another program, the Evolution, which is a one-to-one container versus the Emotional Eating Evolution program. So if this is calling to you, you can check out a bit more about the Emotional Eating Evolution program below. But if you are ready and you're a committed woman, you're ready to have that deep reverence with your body to move through these limitations so you can be all that you want to be in your life, then I would love to invite you to book in an emotional eating assessment call. So this call is really all about you and how we can help you take those steps and fill in that gap to get to your goal and see if you're a great fit for the program. So I'd love to invite you to that. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.